Celeste, what are you doing? You cannot spend the entire time Dallas is away sitting there reading.
Well, Glix, I haven't. I've been baking. I've showered. I've even worked out.
Yes, but then you don't move. You need to do a podcast. Celeste, I'm bringing in the Devoted Geeks.
Okay, what is happening here?
Where are we?
Glix, give us a situation report.
Currently, we are on the planet Geekery. Be warned, our impossibility drive may cause distortions as we traverse this land. Impending impossibility engaging in 3,
Oh, gosh.
2, 1.
Devoted Geeks are here.
Hello, and welcome to Com Talk, the podcast extension of Geek Devotions, the show from Devoted Geeks who are devoted to letting people know that you are loved. I am Celeste, and this is episode 68 of Com Talk, part 2 of our quarantine series. Just to catch everyone up, Dallas has been in quarantine on Monster Island with Nathan and Jimmy, and I am here with Glix, all by myself.
You are not the best quarantine mate yourself, Celeste. I can't wait till all this is over and I can go visit Alice over at the Retro Rewind podcast.
Well, we will see if we can make that happen. We'll talk to Francisco and Paul and see what happens. But today, we're going to be talking about a series that I have been reading for the last several months, and it is called the Throne of Glass series. Very excited about this. It was really a good read. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am an avid reader. Every once in a while, I have issues where I have problems focusing on reading, and usually there's some stress in my life, be it normal or needs to be handled. Probably all needs to be handled. But sometimes it makes it to where I just cannot get engaged, even though I love storytelling and I love books. I'm coming out of one of those periods. It was probably one of the longer ones I had, where I just couldn't focus. I couldn't engage in a book. I read books, but I could read it, I could put it down. Nothing was really holding me. And this series by Sarah J. Maas has held my attention, my avid attention, as you can ask Dallas, since probably late February when I read the first one, which is called A Throne of Glass. Very fascinating series. Just a quick breakdown, it deals with a young lady who is an assassin who has a secret identity, a prince of a kingdom, and the captain of the guard of the same kingdom. And it deals with a lot of political intrigue, things going on. They bring in other players from other countries in this fantasy world. So we're going to get in really quick to my likes. I thoroughly enjoyed this series. As I said, it was really well written. It pulled me in. The character Selena is fascinating, and I really enjoy the fact, and they do this, Sarah J. Maas does this with all of the characters. It's not just they're the heroes, they are the good guys, they are going to win the day. They have flaws, things that make them more relatable, and I appreciate that greatly. I like my heroes to have a little bit of normalcy to them, a little bit of humanity, shall we say. Quick note, there is some language, there is some sexuality in this. It is not a lot. If you know me, you know my tolerance for both of those is not terribly high. I won't recommend a book. Even if I enjoy a book, I will not recommend it if it has too much of either of those, because I cannot put my endorsement behind something that is too far out there. But I will endorse this. So just a quick note, it may be more for older teens, because those things are in there no matter how fleeting. Now, dislikes. It's done. I dislike the fact that it's done, even though everything came to a head beautifully. There was maybe one or two plot holes that I'm a little disappointed in. I'm like, but what about this? And they kind of even point out those. You know, my biggest plot hole, which I will not get into on this podcast, but if you have read the series and you'd like me to discuss it with you, I will. But one of my biggest plot holes, they point out, and I'm like, yeah, what about that? And it's never explained. Maybe there's a epilogue series coming. I don't think so. I think that Sarah J. Maas has moved on to another series. So that's a thing. So yeah, real quick before we get into anything else, we're going to have an ad from our friends over at Retro Rewind Podcast because Glix is missing Alice. So that's who we're going to promote this week.
Hi, I'm Francisco from the Retro Rewind Podcast, and as always, I'm joined by...
I'm Paul J. Powers, and they call me the Master Interrupter.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It doesn't matter, because you're listening to Com Talk.
Comms returning to normal stasis in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, and don't forget to go check out those guys. We love Paul and Francisco so much. We love what they do over at the Retro Rewind Podcast, even though I can't say it well really fast. You can check them out on Twitch, Facebook, all the places. Really cool people. So yeah, as a whole, we here at Geek Devotions recommend the series The Throne of Glass, with the advisement that it be for older teenagers, adults, due to some sexual content and some cursing. So yeah, that is pretty much it. This is going to be like the quickest podcast ever. I probably should have written an article about this. There may be a devotion on this series because it's my week to do a devotion, and that's what I'm thinking. That's what I've been reading for the last several months. That's what my mind's been in, and we really haven't been doing much of anything else other than watching Food Truck Wars. Glix and I enjoy Food Truck Wars.
Yes, I like the waffle love food truck. Celeste seems to prefer phenomenal noodles.
So we are going to close out the podcast today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Com Talk today. If you have loved this episode, head on over to Apple Podcasts to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It is very much appreciated. Or you can message us personally. We have a friend over at One Cross Radio who messages us as he listens to the podcasts, and I love that because it is almost instantaneous feedback. So if you just want to talk to us, that's fine. Although leaving a review does help the podcast itself. Just saying. Until next time, stay devoted, peace and love.